Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and we're going to be recapping the NBA games for today. Today was, it was decent. You know, if you're a Rockets fan like I am, it was not that great because we lost right at the end, and it was kind of a BS call. There was two really close games that were not on TV, live television. And the two games that were selected on NBA TV tonight were both blowouts, and the two other games were actually really good, close games down to the wire. So let's sadly get started. I really don't want to talk about this game, but I'm not going to talk much about it to bring back old memories. But I already made a Rockets post game. If you guys want to hear me talk way more about this game, because I did talk for a while. I think I talked for like almost 9 minutes about this game on my Rockets post game. But the Heat defeated the Rockets 111 to 108. The Rockets had a chance to hit a three and send this game to overtime. Kevin Porter Jr. missed a three. And there was really bad calls. Usman Garuba starts to fight for the rebound with whoever it was. I think it might have been Orlando Robinson. And at first they called it out of bounds on Usman. And then if you look at the replay, it's clearly off of the whoever the Miami Heat player was. And the Rockets really screwed over that. They couldn't. The officials could not review it because the Rockets didn't have a challenge. I think that's something that ultimately, when it's under 2 minutes, I think that's something that should be automatically reviewed. I don't know why that's not the case, and the NBA should probably figure this out. But I think this is a learning experience for the NBA. So whatever. The Rockets would have got another 2 seconds just to try to send this game to overtime. It wasn't a guarantee that we would have hit a three to send it to overtime, but it was better to have a chance, because we still would have had another chance if they would have looked at that call. But let's go over the box score. KPJ had 21, 7 and 5. Jalen had 22. Jabari had 15 and 11. Miami Heat, Tyler Herro back to back. He was unstoppable. Last night he had 35 against the Thunder. Tonight he has 41 against the Rockets. 10 threes tonight. He was just unstoppable. Jimmy Butler had a near triple double. 20, 10 and 7. Also had 4 steals. Believe it or not, he did not have the most steals in this game. He was tied with Kevin Porter Jr., who had 4 as well. Max Strus had 12, and Caleb Martin had 13. He'd only had 8 available players in this one. And here we go for the blowout of the day. You got, when a second seed in the East matches up against a second seed in the West, you'd think it'd be a closer game, right? Nope. Grizzlies beat the Bucks 142 to 101. Just embarrassed the man. Oh man, did they just embarrass the Bucks? They lost by 41 and outscored the Grizzlies by 5. They went into the fourth quarter down by 46. They got outscored in the first quarter 18 to 33. Got outscored in the second quarter 37 to 23. Then got outscored in the third quarter 47 to 30. Man, what a tough night for the Bucket. I nearly said the Buccaneers. Same thing. What a tough night for the Bucks. Man. Ja Morant had a triple-double tonight, 25, 10, and 10. Dylan Brooks had 18. That was really it. Tyus Jones off the bench had 16. Giannis had an off night. He had 19 points, 6 and 5. Middleton, did he get injured or something? No, he took 12 shots. Middleton had a really off night. Only had 3 points. Took 12 shots, made one of them. Portis had 19. I will give it to the Bucks. They were without Drew Holiday, but I don't think that is a good excuse. You still have Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You should not be losing by 41. I think that even if you lost this game, you would have had the excuse of not having Drew Holiday, but there's no excuse by losing by 41. I'll have to go look back and maybe watch some of the highlights of this game. Maybe I can see why they lost so bad. It just doesn't make sense to me when I look at the stat. All right, getting into the game of the day, we got an overtime game. There's been so many overtime games this season. I don't know. It just feels like there's been way more overtime games than usual so far. I don't know. That might just be me. But it feels like there's an overtime game every day sometimes in the NBA. And yeah, that was the Jazz and the Pelicans. Fun fact, this was the second this is how many overtimes there's been this season. This was the second time the Pelicans and Jazz have faced this season and went to overtime. Earlier in the season, these two teams faced and went to overtime. Jazz won that game. Jazz win this game. The great game. The Jazz won 132 to 129. I didn't really watch much of this game. I watched the overtime period. That was it. But this was a great game. Lauri Markkanen had 31. Jordan Clarkson had 39. Malik Beasley had 17 off the bench. And the rookie Walker Kessler had 11 and 8. Also, Atlantic had 14 and 7. For the Pelicans, McCollum had 28. And Zion Williamson had 31. Another good game for him. Larry Nance had 13 and 9. Moving on to the other NBA TV doubleheader game, and this one was a blowout as well. So we got two blowouts on the NBA TV doubleheader, and the Suns. It's good to see the Suns get back and get a win, even if they're playing a Clippers team that is short-handed as it can get. No Paul George, no Kawhi. There's a couple other players that were out for them tonight. I mean, Moses Brown and John Wall were starting for them, and Amir Coffey was starting for them as well. So the Clippers were very short-handed, and if the Suns didn't win this game, they would have looked really bad, and probably would have started to really have to worry about them, but they didn't. They got the win, 111-95. Great win for them. After getting toasted by my Houston Rockets. Just had to throw that in there real quick. And yeah, this was a decent game. I mean, the Clippers had a decent second half, I'll say. I mean, they outscored the Suns by 8 in the third quarter, outscored the Suns by 3 in the fourth. So, they had a better second half, but it just wasn't enough. But I'll give it to the Clippers. They're on the back-to-back, second night of a back-to-back. They're without their two best players in Kawhi, Zubac, and Leonard. Kawhi, Zubac, and Paul George. I said Kawhi. I literally just said Kawhi, Zubac, and Leonard. Kawhi's last name is Leonard. If you didn't know, of course you knew. What am I talking about, man? But yeah, I mean, I give it to the Clippers, man. They went out tonight and they fought against a good team. Very short-handed. Terrence Mann had a great game. He had 22 and 11. John Wall had 12. Brandon Boston Jr., the second-year player, had 16. For the Suns, Mikal Bridges had 27 tonight after having his worst shooting night in his career against the Rockets, going 4 for 24 against the Rockets on Tuesday night. He scores 27 tonight. Chris Paul has a near triple-double with 15, 7, and 13. Devin Booker returns to action tonight after missing however long he's been out. I think maybe 3 or 4 games he's been out for. He had 14. He was probably on a low-minute restriction. Jock Landale had 15 and 10. Remember, also the Suns were without DeAndre Ayton, and Josh Okogie also had a double-double, 11 and 11. How many double-doubles did the Suns have tonight? Chris Paul had a double-double. Jock Landale had a double-double, and Josh Okogie had a double-double. The Suns, they'd lost 3-4 games in a row it was. I think it was 4. Yeah, 4 games in a row. And they bounced back against the Clippers, who had their 3 best players out. But a win is a win, right? Decent day of basketball with the Jazz and the Pelicans overtime game, and the Rockets getting screwed over at the end of the game. But Tyler Herro scores 41. Tyler Herro was the number 1 scorer in all the games today. And then after that, you got Jordan Clarkson scoring 39 in the overtime game. As a fantasy owner of Jordan Clarkson, that was the only good part of this day of basketball. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on today's games, the overtime game with the Jazz and the Pelicans, and let me know your thoughts the Rockets and Heat game, the end, that call with the out-of-bounds play. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out.